Rob Speak, good morning.
Morning.
It's Saturday,
yes.
World Final.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, okay, yeah. I wonder what was going on, it seemed a bit busy.
There's a lot of people here.
Yeah.
So last night, Friday, did it go well for you, do you think?
Yeah, it was good, real good atmosphere, a lot of people here. Yeah, it was real good buzz about the place. It was, you know, just like the calm before the storm, but yeah, I really enjoyed running Friday night.
We came a couple of months ago and we talked about the layout of the weekend and we spoke about Friday. It's like,
yes.
I'm not sure if it's going to work. Do you know what I mean? Because no Formula Ones.
Yeah.
But it was a nice feeling.
It was. There was a lot of Dutch over. The junior F2s really contributed to the meeting. They was really good. And there was a lot of F2 fans and saloons was good. There were a lot of saloon fans. So yeah, it really worked. And I don't think there was over a lot of Formula One fans here as such, but they'll be here today, won't they? That's their big race. You know, they didn't want to watch the saloons and what have you, so they come in. But overall, it was a real good meeting. I enjoyed it. I
was quite surprised. So I was wandering around yesterday, and people were going, oh, Jonathan, da-da-da. And there was a lot of people that have gone, not been stock cars for 10 years, 15 years, but I wanted to come to this World Final. There seems to be like a lot of people that are just coming because there seems a buzz about this for whatever reason, but there is.
There does seem to be.
Yeah.
You know, I do believe bringing T-Mez over has brought a big hype to it, which is, you know, the promotional thing. That's what we wanted to do. Challenging Tom to start at the back definitely started a real big buzz about the World Final, got everyone talking about it. So I think it's just a combination of a few little things that, you know, that we've done different, and I think it just got a real good buzz about it.
Yeah. Two things before you go. Hospitality is nice and done.
Yes.
So the hole in the floor is filled, which makes me happy because I was.
You didn't want to walk near that, did you?
No, I
didn't
not.
want to walk near that. No.
But that's good. And that's how great's this for number one?
Yeah, it's good. It's worked out how we want it to be. It's not finished as such yet, and you know, we want to do it as a restaurant eventually, but it'll work as hospitality for this weekend. And got a car underneath the glass floor, and I've got my car on the wall, which I wanted. And Frankie Wayman's done the engines for me, so he's done the Skegness race, which was really good. Got the bar working. So yeah, it's been an hard push, and a lot of people have helped me. You know, it's been really good.
And people have been here practicing.
Yes.
All the world finalists have been here, like, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You've been keeping an eye on what's been going on. Who's your kind of favourite on?
To be honest with you, there's not been many people here practicing because 10 days or so before the world final, like 2 weeks, we had we run 5 meetings in 7 days. And the last one was a caravan destruction derby. So then you've got all that clean up, you've got to do everything, you've got the fence to do. We was busy in hospitality. So I was doing bits on the fence, then jumping on something else when tradespeople were coming in. So the track was not available.
Okay.
You know, and we had it booked with Frank for one of his hire days.
Yes.
That was, you know, he did that. So to be honest with you, nobody's been round really.
Okay.
You know, so
other than your friend over there?
Well, we had we did the Thursday, T-Mez and Tom, and we had a couple of other cars here, Catherine come, because we wanted to do a little bit of promotional work for, you know, for him with his social media, and so that's what we did, just bit behind the closed doors, but it wasn't really a practice session, it was just more for filming. And
how do you think the race is going to go then? Do you think we need to deal with Tom on that first bend?
If they don't, he's won it.
Okay.
That's my prediction. You know, he's the man on form, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, when I was on form, if they didn't deal with me, I won it. You know, that's just the way it is. When Frank was on form, didn't deal with him, he won it. Peter was the same, John Lund was the same. It's Tom's time now. Yeah. If they don't deal with him, I believe he's going to win it.
Okay.
So they need to deal with him.
And on that note, enjoy your World Final day. You look very relaxed.
I feel more relaxed than I did last week. You know, we was under a bit of pressure, and but now I feel relaxed today. So I'm sure something will go wrong during the day, which will stress me out. But no, it's good.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
T-Mez, good morning.
Good morning.
You and I have been messaging backwards and forwards. You're a very busy racing driver when you're in America. That's what I've learned from our messages. You were very busy.
You know, the 5 hours really messes it up. And yeah, when it's come Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm not around. Monday, I'm editing all day and kind of resting up from the weekend and the travel. It's been a lot of travel as I'm here. You know, lately I was in Texas 2 weeks ago. Well, I flew to Texas and raced in New Mexico, and then went to Wisconsin, and then last weekend I was in St. Louis, and I've just kind of been everywhere, a lot of travel. And so when I'm traveling, I don't always look at my phone.
Yeah, no.
One of the guys I drove for, his favorite saying was, I own the phone doesn't own me. And so, you know, I try not to put the phone on a pedestal.
Yeah, no, which is good, you need to concentrate on racing. Right, so you've come over for the World Final. I think it's been very well publicised on your social media, on our social media, and people kind of hear the name. So just from my understanding and other people's understanding, your day job is quite literally
driving race cars.
And is that for anybody? It's like people ring up and go, will you come and drive my car this weekend? Or is it like certain people you go to? How does that work?
So I run the midget I run for, I kind of put that priority. And then a good friend of mine, Don, he's got a wing sprint car. I was running a non-wing car, but I kind of got fired. I broke my collarbone in it and destroyed it, and it was a brand new car.
I saw that on your,
yeah. And so I took some time off, and then I got back in it and I destroyed it again. And we don't like crashing race cars over there. And so I didn't really get fired, just kind of, I'm not running that anymore. And so with that off my schedule, I kind of started filling it with some wing races. But yeah, the YouTube channel kind of has me popular, I guess you could say. And in America, there's so much racing going on, and a lot of car owners that don't necessarily have drivers,
right? Okay,
maybe of my caliber. You know, I'm not. I was talking to my grandpa last week, and he asked me how I was ranked.
Yeah.
And because I broke my collarbone, my ranking just tanked, right?
Okay.
But in the last, honestly, 10 years, I've been ranked in the top 10 in the United States Auto Club with the non-wing sprint car and the midget. But lately, I've just been living my best life, doing my YouTube channel, traveling, and going racing to have fun.
Okay. Yeah. I get that. I get that. But is it, so are you kind of like, where are you based? Where's your base in?
I'm in Indianapolis.
Okay.
So, and that's the racing capital of the world. With non-wing sprint cars, you can run Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The local show is $1,500 to win, or 1,500 pounds to win.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if I could run third 3 nights in a row, third usually pays $900, $800, you know, and I get 50% of that, sell some t-shirts, do some YouTube videos. You know, it's not, I'm not your average professional race car driver, because I hustle. I make it work. You know, I don't drive a real nice car because I own it, so my overhead's low so that I can travel and I can go do this.
So Ben Hizzett, who we both mutually know, he was talking about the merch thing, and that's like a big deal in America. That's kind of where like the huge amount of money like involved in that. And he was trying to explain to me, I'm like, these trailers that turn up, and I couldn't get my head round.
It is crazy. So I own an apparel trailer, and it's 16 foot, and it has shirts and sweatshirts and hats and cars and all the T-Mez merch.
Yeah, which is
and you know, and then I park it on the grandstand side, and a lot of the fans come, and they don't actually come to the pits. So you either buy a grandstand ticket, which is $20, or you get in the pits, which is $30 or $40. So if you're not going to the pits, you know, my trailer's over there in the grandstand side. Man, I make more money selling t-shirts.
Yeah, which I couldn't get my head round, and it's just massive. It's this huge thing.
Well, if you're dirt racing, the money, you know, like, the outlaw guys make really good money. You know, I think Larson's made, you know, $500,000, $1 million, but he's like 1%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the guys that run 10th every night, you know, they're making maybe $100,000 a year if you're lucky.
But that's a big amount of money.
It is. It's making, you know what, I'm doing what I love to do, and so there is a little risk. You know, what I do is dangerous, and you know, you can get hurt. With the sprint car, a good friend of mine crushed 3 vertebrae in his back a couple weeks ago, and he's hurt bad, you know. And so it's got its risk, but you know, if I wasn't doing this, I would be laying tile or carpet. I'm a flooring contractor, and so working a real job has kind of went out the window since I've been blessed with you know, so many good contacts and but you know, I put a lot of work into my YouTube channel. I feel like that's helped.
Yeah.
So.
But that's the thing. I think YouTube, you know, like social media is huge. I keep telling Rob knows this, and I think that, you know, we do this stuff with social media because it's the reach and it gets people engaged, and clearly people are engaged in you through the social media.
Yeah, the social media is huge. It's all turned to where a lot of the people would rather watch it on their phone than go live the life, which I don't necessarily understand that. You know, I was born in the 80s, so, you know, we didn't have phones, we didn't have anything. You got on your bike and we built dirt jumps that were this tall and 30 foot long and crashed bikes all day. That's what I did when I was a kid. You know, I didn't play on my phone or do video games, you know. And so it's a different generation, but you know, if you put in a little bit of work, you can capitalize on it. I live a great life. I film it as I go, and people enjoy watching it. Good.
You're going to go and practice in a minute. Last question: is this what you thought it was going to be?
Yes and no. The car is a blast to drive. It's a beast. It's got tons of power. It's got decent brakes, you know, but there's a lot to take in, you know, with the way you move people, and you got to keep the tire underneath you. You know, if a guy starts shoving you and you start getting sideways because the guy's moving you out of the way, and you burn the right rear up, you're done. You're just going to start tanking to the back, you know. So it's an interesting format, and I'm trying to soak it all in, you know, just hopefully I have some luck on my side, and we can have a good night.
Because it's two factors, isn't it? Like, you've got to learn how to drive that race car on your own around a track and go, right, okay, I can do that. But then you've got to deal with 30 other people, and that's the complexity. That's where it comes in.
I don't race in my mirror, and I'm having to look in the mirror here, and take in a lot, you know. So hopefully I get to just get in behind Tom and I can follow him through. That's the plan.
Yeah. And has he given you lots of hints and tips? You know, has he kind of gone, right, you figure it out yourself?
He's busier than I am, honestly. Okay. He's tuning on my car, he's tuning on his car, he's tuning on his sister's car, and you know, he's the hero here, and so we haven't even got to chat much, honestly, but he has given me some good pointers on how to get the thing. You know, they're heavy cars, and so you really have to stick the right front with the brakes, which makes driving the cars on edge, because on the brakes turning, it doesn't like that, but that's kind of how you have to run the car. And so he gave me the pointers I needed to get some speed and to be fast.
Yeah. And the contact piece, is that kind of something you're looking forward to doing?
Not looking forward at all.
No.
He hit me yesterday twice.
Okay.
And it hurt. It was like somebody whacked me over the head with a sledgehammer, and you're racing. And so, like, it was that part I don't know that I am looking forward to, which makes me feel like I'm just so spoiled back home.
Yes.
I'm so spoiled back home that this is so foreign to me. I'm trying to wrap my brain around running into people. I see it's entertainment for everybody. It just doesn't seem entertaining.
But in your mind,
in the car to get ran into.
Yeah, absolutely, because in your mind, when you're racing, you're going, I don't want to hit that person, because that's what you do, because you don't want to do it. But here, we want you to do that.
I know. It's
crazy.
Very interesting. Well, and I'm sure there's a technique, you know, like running the car into the corner deep, just getting off the brakes, knowing you're going to just plug him to slow you down, and I don't know that I have that finesse yet.
We'll see.
We'll
absolutely see.
We'll see.
Listen, you go and do some practicing, and good luck in the world final. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Caleb Ashton, you've come all the way from New Zealand to race today, and you've been out practicing. How's that gone?
Yeah, it's not too bad at the moment, you know, just getting used to the car and all that. Like, I've never raced on tarmac, so just the more laps I can do out there, the better.
And yesterday was the time trials. Tell me how that went.
Yeah, the first one I went out, I think I got 9 fastest out of all the overseas drivers, which it wasn't too bad. It was the fastest Kiwi, so I'm happy about that. And then the second one, we just done the 1 lap, and everyone was slower because the track cooled down a bit. So yeah, the second one was a waste of time, to be honest.
So where did that leave you on the grid?
Inside row 16.
Do you feel disappointed by that?
Nah, not really. It's my first ever time racing on tarmac. Like, all these overseas drivers, all the Holland drivers, they've all raced tarmac mostly every weekend. So I'm not really disappointed in that.
What's your full-time work?
I run the CNC bench cutter and do CAD drawing.
CNC bench cutter.
Yeah.
Wow, and that's a full-time job, is it?
Yeah, full time. That's our family business, TWS.
And so a lot of work going on there.
Yeah, plenty of work there.
So who's looking after the fort while you're here?
My granddad.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so therefore, when did you leave to get here?
We landed here last Saturday, so we left New Zealand Friday.
Right.
Yeah.
So a week. You've been here a week.
Been here a week. Yeah.
How long is the journey from Auckland? Is it from Auckland?
From Auckland. Yeah, we flew out of Auckland and we stopped over in Dubai, and that flight was 17 hours. Then we got on another plane from Dubai to Manchester, and that was 7 hours.
Did you think it was never going to stop?
Yeah.
When are you heading back?
Not next week, the following Tuesday or something. So we do Bradford next week.
Oh, cool.
Do Bradford.
Oh, that bit you'll be a bit more used to that than with
yeah.
with the back end coming out.
Yeah, we'll do Bradford next week, and then we'll go home the following Tuesday after that.
So if this is your first time on tarmac, can you explain to the viewers what it's like for somebody who's never been on tarmac before to race one of these? What are the different techniques that you would most appreciate instantly?
Oh, you just have to keep the car straight. And watch your throttle control. Like, he's got plenty of horsepower. You put your foot on the gas, it just wants to light up. So you gotta, just go gently on the throttle and try to keep it as straight as you can. And yeah.
So what you're saying then is, as you're coming around the bend, you want to go on the gas. If you go on the gas too hard, the back end just loses grip, spins the tyres up. You get no forward momentum.
You get no forward momentum if you get on the gas too early in the corners too. If you don't rotate the car enough, your front end just gets the push coming out. So yeah, it's difficult, but slowly getting the hang of it.
And the other thing about the difference between shale and tarmac is brake bias, of course. Brakes are very different in tarmac to shale. So have you managed to adapt the change in the braking bias in the middle of the lap?
Yeah, I haven't played around with the brake bias. I just leave it to Frankie set it up. He's been around many years, so
okay.
The car's set up to how he likes it, and it's going right at the moment.
Okay, so if you were on shale, you would be doing a lot of brake bias changes as the track developed, yeah?
Yeah. So you'll start off on shale with a bit more rear brake.
Yeah.
And then throughout the race, if it starts getting slicker and all that, you just chuck it down a bit more front brake and go away.
Any special ideas about the start of today's race? Anything? Any techniques that you're thinking of adopting, or is it just going to go in and see what happens? I mean, will you be pushing or will you be being pushed? I'm
just going to go on and see what happens. Hopefully I miss all the carnage and sneak down underneath everyone and get away.
That'll be the idea. Yeah. Well, look, it's lovely to talk to you. It's great to see you over here. I wish you the very best of luck, Caleb. Thanks for your time, sir.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Famous sayings and all the history of the sport.
Right, good to be out of the team swimming again, brilliant. Yeah.
Right, let's have a word with Andy.
I'm sat here with stock car royalty of the highest level, Andrew Smith. Is this your car? Oh no, it's your brother's car. What's going on here?
Well, technically, it's Jessica's car. Let's put it that way.
It's Jessica's car. It's Jessica's. You've just been out. Andrew's just been out doing a little kind of demo with your dad's old car there. How did that feel?
It felt good. It felt just sitting in the thing before the meeting, just looking around the cockpit area, brought back a lot of memories because when I was a kid of about, I'm going to say 12, 13-year-old, I first started to drive that car. My dad used to let me drive it around the yard a little bit, and then he progressed to letting me load it in the bus and unload it at the tracks, and then I used to drive it to around the pits and stuff, and just looking in there, I remember it all. You know, it's amazing what you remember, innit, from your childhood, and it's lovely that it's so original. You know, it's kept in very much original condition, not been messed around with, and the chap that's recently bought it and changed it into its in the colours that it's in now, which was the last colours my dad raced it in, he's meticulously tried to make it authentic. He's replaced parts of the car to make them look like, you know, so they're the same as the original. So what a fantastic effort, you know. Really,
brilliant.
Yeah.
And does it bring a little bit of not a tear to you, a little bit emotional, because you must bring it back your dad and.
Yeah, I suppose it does if I think about it. It should have been him driving it around there with John Lunch, shouldn't it, really? And yeah, probably got Frankie Senior out there, but you know these things happen. Dad's not here anymore, and I'm sure he would have absolutely loved to be here. I can just picture him with a pint in his hand, just looking over it, you know, and telling everybody how good he was.
And so, as far as yourself goes, you go in real life. What's happening with Andrew Smith right now?
Well, we're still very much involved in this sport. You know, it's been a long time since I retired from stock cars, 12 years now. People still come and like to talk about when I raced and like to say they miss me and will I race again, and same questions, but I'm very much focused on the girls racing now. As you can see, we're sat on one of the girls' Formula 2 cars. We've got two here. Both my daughters race, as many people will know, and we're just a small team, me, my wife and my kids, you know, and basically I'm their number one and only mechanic, so it keeps me very busy. You know, me and the girls are our only crew. You know, we don't want it any other way. We're a happy little family team, and we're just loving stock car racing. And is that not what it's all about? That's what everybody's here for.
Do you build it yourself?
No, the chassis are actually built by a professional chassis builder in the sport. I'd love to have a go at building one myself. I wouldn't rule it out for one of the girls or both of them, but we repair them all ourselves. We rebuild them. I build the engines. Everything we do as regards running week to week is in-house. We don't sub anything out. We do it ourselves. So it's the only way we can afford to do it. We're lucky. The girls are lucky enough to have a lot of backing, a lot of good sponsors who help them out. Many old contacts from my racing, you know, who's still on board. So yeah, we're loving it. So yeah, Andrew Smith is just loving it at the minute. He loves stock car racing, as always.
You're looking well in it. I remember we talked one point after a final that you won, and you talked about a couple of little things that you'd done to the car. You'd chosen different rear suspension. You'd looked at using different kind of bars and stuff. I wonder if you've done anything different to these that maybe a little bit off the norm that other people aren't doing.
Yeah, I understand. The good question, really. Not really, because the rules are very restrictive in Formula 2 as regards the suspension. There's a lot of limitations, and the guy who builds these RCE chassis, they're probably the best chassis in the sport. The world champion Gordon Moody runs one, they're really good. And there's not a lot of improvement. There's little improvements which we try and do and set up, and Yeah, they're doing well. They're both blue tops. It's a very tough sport. It's proper national sport. Scotland to Cornwall and everywhere in between. And we race everywhere. You know, we don't race at quiet meetings. The girls are always out amongst 50 cars every meeting. And it's a tough game, but they're enjoying it and they're going forwards. So keep going forwards.
Are you? It's a good time for him to start that car. Are you living your racing life vicariously through them nowadays?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, living my life through my children, I suppose, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
But you don't pressure them in that regard, do you?
No, not at all. They've got a lot of pressure on the shoulders anyway. I'm fully aware of that. You know, I had it when I was a kid. You know, I fully understand how it is, and it's, you know, sometimes it weighs a bit heavy maybe on them, but they're not in Formula One, so the spotlight's not on them as much as it could be. I'd love for one or both to have a go at the big cars, but it's a bit out of our reach at the minute, but you know, you never know one day.
It's a very expensive game in the F1 sense that you'd have put an awful lot on there. And this is a lot of aggro and a lot of effort, but it's not quite the expense of an F1, right?
You're dead right, Roger, yeah. The time involved in going racing, prepping properly is no different. Whatever you race, is it? You put everything you can into it. But the actual pounds, shillings and pence of it are what pays for things, and the Formula One job is probably 3 or 4 times dearer than the Formula 2s now. It used to be probably double, it's gone even further, and it's out of a lot of people's reach now, which is unfortunate, but yeah, it is what it is.
Always a pleasure. Lovely to see you, Andrew, and I'm sure the people who are watching are thinking the same thing. Great, mate. Good to speak to you.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Roger.
you.
Likewise.
Cheers.
All right.
So I'm here with Frankie because obviously we've talked to Frankie a lot over the World Final weekend, but we've just been out there doing something quite nice, haven't you, Frank?
Yeah, it was good actually. Good with the heritage cars, and yeah, it fetched back memories. To be fair, you know, 'cause I think I probably drove that car when I was about 8. So obviously, you know what I mean, it is a proper heritage car, you know. Hats off to all the guys that do those cars. You know, they restore the original cars back to what they are and get them to pristine condition like for today, and it's just unbelievable when you think about it. Really good.
So you get in, you've sat in it before, but today you went round. That must have taken you back. And
yeah, obviously, you know, the steering's a bit of a handful, everything's a bit of a handful, the skinny tyres, but yeah, it's just, you know, obviously I've never raced anything as far back as that, but obviously, you know, we were in between, so you know what I mean, this is where the job started.
When Frank was out there, he was going round, lighting the rear end up all the way around, like right next to this is like, that was very, very interesting.
Yeah, you know, I could see Andy was struggling a little bit, I think he was jumping out of gear, yes. So you know what I mean, you just got to put a show on, but I think, you know, it's 70 years, that's like probably one of the oldest organisations in motor racing in the world, I would have thought. You know what I mean? It's massive. So, you know, you've got to celebrate that. You know, we're still here and we're still doing what we do.
It was a joy to watch. I can tell you, it made me a little bit emotional out there, seeing you in that car out there, and everybody else, Andrew, and everybody.
Obviously, you can gauge off the crowd if the crowd are enjoying what you're doing and what they're seeing, and they loved it. And that's all we're about. That's what we're about. You know what I mean? You can have stunt shows, you can have whatever you want as entertainment. I don't truly know, but at the end of the day, you've got to relate to your crowd. You know, some of these people have been coming for that many years. Yeah. You know, you've got to remember that. Totally. You know, it's not about here and now. It's about where we come from and what we are.
Lovely to speak to you. Thanks very much for your time, Frank.
Cheers.
Race control. We've spoken to the start marshal, and that's been brilliant. He's told us a lot. But now we're in race control, and it's quite serious up here. There's people doing important, serious things. So I thought I'd just give you a moment and show you what takes place. So over here, we've got a computer. What's going on with this computer?
It's transponder. Lost it. No.
It's logging the transponders as they go over the start-finish line. So when we look down there and we see those 2 lines, is that where the transponder is picking up from?
It is, yes.
Okay, so we've got that. So this in here, these are all the people who are out on the racetrack, and that will change as they go through, will it?
Yes.
And so what happens if something goes wrong with the computer?
Panic.
Okay, have we got a backup system in place?
That's my job.
Okay, tell me.
That's Snowy's job.
Okay, so what do you do? So what's this here in front of you?
That's lap scoring.
Okay.
So every time each car goes over the line, we've got to write down the number in the order that they go over the line.
And so this is an example. Can I just show you that to the? Have you got? Can you see that? So there's the 2 litre saloons. That's yesterday, heat 1,
yeah.
and that's what it looks like.
Yes.
And how often do you disagree with what takes place there?
Oh, last night quite often.
Really?
Yes.
So how often do you disagree with that lap scorer over there?
We normally agree, don't we, Snowy? We do normally agree, yes.
And if you don't, you make it up.
Yes.
No, you
that's
don't.
it.
No, you don't. That wasn't the right answer. Okay. Well, lovely. Thanks. You're quite good with that computer, aren't you?
Sort of. I know the basics, but other than that, no. I've only got shown a few number of times, so that this morning was just a guess.
Have these cars got transponders on them?
No.
Okay.
As far as I know, they haven't.
Will they would otherwise come up on there?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. Are you seeing any transponders coming through? No transponders. Okay. So who've we got? Oh, I know you. We've done you before, haven't we? Steve Abbott.
Good afternoon, Roger.
And what's your role here, Stephen?
Keeping the lap scorers from falling out.
And what else?
Oh, I am steward. I am the race steward, which means I am in charge of everything that happens out on the track.
And have you had any trouble today?
Apart from you, no.
But presumably it's quite an important job for this weekend particularly.
Well, I treat every meeting, every race with the same importance, because it's important to drivers, it's important to the public, spectators, it's important to me. So every race gets the same treatment.
Are you the big boss?
I am the big boss.
Is Rob Speak underneath you or on top of you?
Well, he'd love to be underneath me. No, I mean, Rob is obviously the promoter and can overrule me, but it doesn't happen.
No. Steve, that's it. What's all this you got going on here?
Well, this is a steward's report form which goes for the track. It's a standardised form, so every result goes in, and any penalties, disqualifications, race suspensions, and so on goes on there. I also do another one specifically for Bscda Formula 1,
right?
Which is slightly different, but basically does the same job. And then I also keep tabs on the grade awards.
Okay.
The drivers in each grade get points if they finish races. And you'll notice that it's blue, but it's not because I'm colourblind. No, I'm not. The printer was acting up.
Have you had to call anybody up to the box this weekend?
No.
Who do you think? Who do you think you will be calling up to the boss this week over today?
Nobody.
Good, because you've already got them in order and you've already.
They've all been sorted out. It's taken quite a few years to get them to do as they're told, but they're now very good.
Who's next to you?
This is Snowy Garner, our senior lap scorer.
You don't look very senior to be a lap scorer.
Oh, thank you.
Where are your lap charts?
Right, here's my lap charts.
Okay.
They're all wrote out ready. Then I do a result sheet.
Yes.
Yes.
So, what if you say that I think this person won, and they say I think that person won?
Oh, I overrule them.
Are you
I
the big
do,
boss?
yes,
You are
yes.
the big. Do you overrule Steve?
Yes.
Oh, that's
I do.
important. That's really.
I know my place.
It's quite a good view here. You've got a good overview of the whole thing. Steve, how do you start and stop a race, or is that not your job?
Well, I give the instruction, but we do have someone else doing the race receivers
Okay.
to the drivers, but they will only pass on what I tell them.
What does this do here?
This is the traffic lights. So you've got red, yellow, green.
And what do these do?
Various things. You've got track
it's
lights and
right.
perimeter lights and so on.
Grandstand lights.
Grandstand lights.
Am I allowed to touch this button?
Boom. Yes.
Can I do the red flag?
Yes. Well,
Are you ready for there? Have we got a red flag?
Well,
Have we got an orange flag? Have we got a green flag. Can you see any of those? I've just done the lights as Skeggy on World Final weekend. How mad is that? And I've turned them off again now. Before we go, one other person. Who are you? Why are you skulking at the back?
Well, this is normally my main place. Unfortunately, I just get shoved down to the back, mainly courtesy of Steve.
What's your name?
Thomas.
What's your surname?
Kalita.
And your job is?
Well, most people in here describe it as the main loudmouth, but normal people will describe it as commentator.
So will you be commentating for the World Final?
Somehow, yes.
Is that an onerous job?
Well, I mean, it's certainly something to live up by. Obviously, with Dad being out in the middle for 30 years, it's hard to live up to what he's done, but just got to go with it, really.
Is this your first World Final?
First ever one. It's only the second one I've ever actually watched, but now thrown in the deep end.
So, sorry, just be clear, this is your first?
First ever World Final to commentate, yes.
That's not a scary proposition, is it? That's not a worry.
It's very scary.
Could I just butt in, as I often do? Thomas will be, we think, or pretty certain that he will be the youngest ever commentator for a Formula One World Final.
No responsibility, no worries for you whatsoever, no pressure.
Not at all, no. Not like that someone's dropped a ton weight on my shoulders this week.
Who do you think is going to win?
It's hard to say, really. Obviously, everyone's going to say the main pick would be Tom Harris, but with the first guy, I mean, you look at who's lined up behind him, you can never know what would happen, but a dark horse pick, if I had to pick, would probably be Rick Lenson, H318.
He is so quick.
Well, I think it was second or third he got in the UK Open in May. He got the fastest in the time trials last night by about a tenth of a second, so definitely the fastest of the overseas, and he's not far off any of the rest of them that we see here regularly.
Very nice guy as well.
Well, I'm not too sure about that one.
No,
You'll have to go to Dad about opinions on people.
Okay, I've interviewed him. He was absolutely lovely. Tom, thanks very much for your time, and I really wish you luck with the jobs in hand.
Thank you very much.
We'll be listening out for you.
Oh dear, more weight on my shoulders than I'm guessing, is it?
Thanks very much, everybody in Race Control.
Thank you.
Opposition screams through. Control of the tunes. Your dad is going to listen up. And listen up. You took to the top of the water, and the things that come to it, it wasn't yet, and you're keeping the right support. So, it was there we go. Nice and control, so it's building up the speed ready for the 2024 Formula 1 Stock Championship of the world.
Practice the tyres.
Yeah. Drivers, are you ready? Start your engines!
Right, he's coming, he's bringing his own case.
Idea of where we are. We need drivers that are happy with their cars to get themselves sat on board.
Not gonna be all up bed.
It didn't stay fucking there for long, did it? No. What you've done to it, it's like Rob said
If anybody was going to, I knew it'd be you. Do you know how many times I catch you with 5 laps to go around here? I'm like, I do you just win?
5 times Bristol Formula 1 champion of the world, it's Tom Harris.
With a very, very busy Tom Harris, who seems to be being accosted left, right and centre, Tom.
It's not a bad thing, is it?
No, but that was a very, very exciting start for you, my goodness me.
Yeah, you know, after the first start, it was destroyed. We had to completely... I never expected... I know it didn't have the pace at the end, but I never expected to have any pace at all, to be honest. It was... the side rail was rubbing on the wheel, so we moved the pan up, we moved the back axle back both sides. We ruined a good car. Sorry, excuse me.
Sorry.
We ruined a good car, basically, and, you know, how to debut a new car. Destroy it, absolutely destroy it, and then win the world final.
So tell everybody what it felt like when you went in that first, because you went in hard, Tom. That moved the axle a long way.
It pushed the side rail down onto the rear tyre. Someone hit me in the left rear, which buckled the wheel badly. We had to cut the wheel with a steel saw to get the wheel undone. You know, we had a porta power, we had to zip tie and duct tape the bonnet on.
Oh good, we like
zip ties and duct tape fixed everything. I thought I was in NASCAR with all the race tape on. Yeah.
Circuit racing that.
Yeah, but you know, I just...
What did it feel like? Did it hurt?
I don't have anything left up here for it to hurt. And then when Matt got me a good one. And I knew that as Matt hit me, he got loose. So I knew if I drove it in the wall, I'd get a gap. So I drove it in the wall, as we did in the Grand National. Yep. The harder you go in, the faster you come out. And I didn't want to hit the side rail, so I thought if I hit it hard with the front corner, we'll deflect and away we go. And then, you know, Frankie was coming, and I had nothing left. I had no brake pedal. The steering column was on my lap.
Just to be clear, so this is now on. We've restarted. You've got a decent gap for a while.
I had a lead, and then you know, I had some back markers between us. And unfortunately, 2 of them pulled off. One of them went round to the back, and it was only Nigel de Kock that actually stayed in position.
Yes.
So Frankie was a lot closer than what he'd previously been.
Indeed.
And I just, you know, I didn't want to burn my tyres up, but I was struggling with the car.
You could see that.
The steering column was, every time I turned it was down, and it was up, and it was down, and then I could see Frank going on. And Frankie, you know, he's one of the best of the best, and I knew he was going to have a last bender. It's a world final, second means nothing. So I knew he was coming last bend, and poor Joe Booth.
I know.
Because I never lifted, and Frankie hit me, and Joe Booth hit the wall. And a big thanks to my gearbox guy that's just been here, because I just slammed first gear, and it was just full noise, pedal to the metal until I got across that line.
And this time you didn't do the gearbox?
No, this time the gearbox survived.
Hey!
But you know, that my helmet was up, and it took the skin off my face, and you know, winning for a 5th time is unbelievably special, especially in the situation I was in with at the start of the year with quitting. So to be in this position and be the underdog, rather than have the big budget and all the rest of the rubbish that goes with it, you know, to do this for the guys, my family, and my team is unbelievable.
And your brother?
Yeah, my little brother. You know, he's a badass. Like, he is a badass.
He is.
He is a badass, and you know, he hates being at home now. I'm there. I don't know why, but he hates being there. I think he used to be the man of the house, and now he's like, you know, oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, but no, like Ben and Darren, they've been, you know, they put up with all my bullshit, and I'm probably not the easiest person to work for or work with.
Definitely not.
I'm so fussy about setup, and you know, Rob and Asher have been absolutely brilliant with me on this weekend. They've made it feel extra special. You know, whether I win or lose, I still felt special. But to do that and to win that race when, you know, everything was against me after that first start, like, I can't say anything. You know, that makes it extra special, because who'd have thought? I got in the car and I thought, right, you know, I just need to maintain.
That's a little question for you. How different did it feel on that restart? Because you had no idea, having the back axle all over the place. You don't know what it's going to. You know, it must have felt very differently.
We guessed. We wound the axle across. I don't know how many turns. Stuart Shevell was fucking winding, and we just made sure we had maybe an 1.5 inches between the side rail and the back tyre. Because I thought, you know, I'm starting on pole again. I'm going to go in the wall.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't have that tyre rub that tyre, and then I have no idea where we are.
And what did it feel like? Was it very different?
Well, yeah, it was very different. Right. And the main problem was the steering column came down. Darren's going to shout at me about this. I've built a car saving weight. That's why there's no paint on it. And the steering column came down, but when it came down, when I turned, it was like a big lump.
Yeah.
But you know, it was just what it was. You know, we just managed that. But the biggest thing was the brakes were terrible.
Yeah. You could see that, because Frank, where Frank was getting you was under. And you're brilliant under brakes.
The brakes were terrible. I don't know if we bent a disc or the back axle was bent, or you know, we had to still saw the wheel off it.
Yeah. Of course.
It's wrecked. It's a brand new car. It's out of shape, and I was really struggling on brakes. And I thought, when I got into traffic, I thought I could use a couple of cars and save my brakes, because I didn't have much. And you know, I just can't believe it.
We know what happened at the end.
Yeah, it was, you know, poor Joe Booth, because Frankie is, like I said, he's one of the best of the best, and second means nothing in that race. You know, I knew Frankie was going to have a last bender, and I thought the harder I go in, the faster I come out. And you know, fortunately, I got across the line. And
are you a bit cut up? Are you a bit emotional?
I'm mega emotional. And
oh, bless you, Thomas.
That one's extra special because at the beginning of the year I was the underdog. You know, I was always spoiled brat and money talks and all the bullshit that goes with it, and now I'm just a one-man band. Not a one-man band. I'm a one-man band. I haven't got the big sponsors. You know, I've got lots of people that have helped me get to where I am, and you know, we've so many people. Sead de Vries, the Dutch guy, who his car I look after, he sold his car, and he was down for a week ago to help me finish it, because I got so far with the car and I wasn't happy with it, and I'm a perfectionist, so I cut the hell out of it. Brand new car. My dad fell out on me over it. You know, I'm glad my dad's not here, but you know, Dad, this one's for you.
Oh, hey Mick.
You know, and you know, I'm sure there's as many people that are crying right now as there's many people happy. So big thanks to whoever that's boos or cheers, because we got it done.
Excellent work. Real congratulations, Tom. You're a superstar. Well done, mate.
I'm not sure about that.